We're back at IMI in Bryanston, the Italian motorcycle importers. In a previous episode, we had a look at the flagship superbike of Aprilia, the RSV4 1100 RF. But in this episode, we're going to have a look at another iconic Italian brand, and that brand being Moto Guzzi. For those that don't know, Moto Guzzi has been around since 1921. They have a very strong race pedigree, but are most known for being bold and innovative as a brand. Some examples of that are they were the first to introduce the center stand for motorcycles. They were the first motorcycle brand to use wind tunnels in development. And back in 1955, they brought us a 500cc Grand Prix racer V8. Now that's 65 years ago. So as you can see as a brand, they don't following people, they are innovators and very bold. We're going to have a look at a model in their range that's been around since 1967. And that model is the V7. In the background you see the V7 Racer, but we're going to focus on the limited edition Moto Guzzi V7 Carbon as is in front of me. The Moto Guzzi V7 is the best loved in the model range, and it has been around since 1967. I think one of the reasons it is so loved is because of its very retro and iconic style and iconic motor layout. It is the 90-degree V-twin motor in a transverse position so the heads stick out. The V7 Carbon, as before me here, is the only limited edition in the range currently, and it celebrates the 100-year anniversary of the company. Company was founded in 1921, and therefore very appropriately 1,921 units are being built only. This bike here being unit 1162, one of only two that were brought into South Africa. It is the V7/3, which is the third evolution of this model, and these bikes are hand built by skilled artisans back in the Mandello dell'Aria factory in Italy. And I think let's talk about this motor because that has a really interesting story behind it too. The story of this engine starts back in 1961 when Moto Guzzi looked at new markets and new avenues for generating revenue and the advent of mass-produced cars. The motor designer came up with this 90-degree V-twin air-cooled motor 700cc, and it was actually designed and destined for the sport model of the Fiat 500 Cinquecento, and this could actually get a top speed of 140 kilometers per hour in that car. Motor was accepted, however Fiat's demand for the annual production far exceeded the production capabilities of the Mandello plant. Moto Guzzi did not lose heart and looked at other avenues where to employ this motor, such as alpine troops, highway patrol and municipal tenders. Then a tender came out for a motor that could cover 100,000 kilometers with the lowest maintenance bill. Testing started in 1964, and that's where this motor triumphed. Soon the tenders were won and this motor was used all over the world as far as America and Europe. And from 1967 was put into what is known as the V7, and therefore the designation V7 because back then it was a 700cc. Today it's still known as a V7, however it is bored out to a 750cc. Now let's have a look at the finishes and features of this limited edition. It is finished in a beautiful matte black, however accentuated and offset with some red, such as the metallic red eagle on the tank, the red heads, highlighting the iconic motor design and layout of the transverse twin. You have your red Brembo calipers on the front wheel. You have the Moto Guzzi name in red on the tank. You have the red stitching going across the seat as well as the name embroidered in red at the back. You have a waterproof Alcantara seat over here. A very retro clock analog with a little bit of a digital display in front of you on the dash. On the handlebar risers you have the lasered plaque telling you exactly what number your bike is of the 1921 produced. And then you have the aluminium billet machined items anodized in black, such as petrol cap, headlight bezel. And then finally, as per the name of this bike, the Carbon, you have the Side covers finished in a natural carbon matte, the shortened front mudguard in a carbon, as well as the shortened rear mudguard finished off in the matte carbon. All round just a beautiful, stunning piece. If you enjoyed this episode with us, remember to click like and subscribe and follow us on Route 21.